Good morning, everybody. I'm doing a day in the life of type 1 diabetic right now, and it's about 8:30 in the morning here. My blood sugar is 121, 122, 121. I did flatline all night. I'll take a picture on my Apple Watch and insert it here. I did crank my basal down last night, and I kind of did the opposite of what I wanted to do. I wanted just to stop waking up in the 80s, and I went up down at 1 unit, but apparently my period still is going to be stubborn and wants me to ride. Blood sugar's a little higher, so I'll probably turn my basal back up tonight, but anyways, I'll check my blood sugar and touch base with you after. It is also a very crazy snow day here. This is the 7th snow day in the past 2.5 weeks for all the local schools and some of the local colleges. Even the colleges, the college that I attend has been shut down for quite a few of those days. So don't be shocked if you see me go outside. It's wicked snowing and stuff. Yeah, we're in another winter storm. So it's going to be me at home today, but obviously most of you know that if I was managing my diabetes outside of my house, it really, to me, isn't all that different. It's just that you have to make sure you have all the tools necessary with you to manage. So excuse my voice, I'll take my retainers out, and then I'll let my dog out, and we'll go from there. So I always check my blood sugar manually a lot. That's just something I do. I gotta flip this around, but anyways, I don't quite think the Dexcom G6 is there to make treatment decisions full time. And that's something I'm going to talk about in a future video. But hopefully by the next couple generations, they're going to get really good at getting trends and really being accurate. I would say like 99.9% of the time. I would say I trust Dexcom 90% of the time. Okay, release the suction. Well, that's nice. Release the suction, but apparently it's splattered. Anyways, I trust Dexcom probably about 90% of the time. I do treat it for highs and for lows. I'm at 112, so I actually woke up where I wanted to, and it says I'm 121. So, but that's still within range. I'm gonna leave Dexcom alone. I won't calibrate it. But it's nice to know I didn't wake up at like 130 something like I thought I was going to, because like I said, usually at my period, if I don't run a basal insulin of 10 before I go to sleep, I'll wake up on the higher end. But yesterday I woke up like at 80 something, which isn't bad, but kind of on the lower end, especially if you want to delay your meal or something. But 112 is perfect. We'll take it. Again, I'll convert everything to millimoles. Like I said, I'm going to get my dog out, and we will go from there. I will show you what I'm going to eat, and then we're going to pre-bolus, take my injection, and we'll go from there. So that's it for this morning's check. Welcome to the blizzard, everybody. We've got about a foot of snow, and it's still coming down. Lovely, right? My dog just went pee, and she's not going to do anything more. But anyways, we'll go back inside now. It's kind of cold out here. So I just gave myself an injection, and I had my mom record it, but she never actually hit the button, and it's not a big deal. Little bit mad because it did show you some cool things that I do, but you know what, it's not a big deal. But I did set a timer for 20 minutes. I now will go show you what I'm gonna go eat. I'm eating 41 carbs. I do a 1 unit per 10 in the morning, which means I have 4 units of insulin on board, and I have a timer set, and it's got 18 or 17 minutes left. Like I said, not a big deal with what my mom did. She made a mistake, and that's totally fine. But I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna eat, and we'll go from there. I had 2 slices of Sara Lee wheat bread, which equates to 24 grams of carbohydrate. The peanut butter is 2 tablespoons at 6 grams of carbohydrate. I do buy the natural peanut butter because it is lower in cholesterol and it is made of healthy fats and not the unhealthier fats. And then the milk that I buy is from Wisconsin, made freshly, and it is 11 carbs per cup, so that is a total of 41 carbs. I just wanted to show you guys something quick that was missed when we recorded something. I did give myself an injection, but like I said, I used one with cartridges. As you can see, it went to the red line. I'll have to watch my 2 hours post-meal to make sure that I got my full injection, because this thing never actually tells you where you're at. Like, I could keep dialing and dialing and dialing and dialing, and it won't stop, even though there's not 6.5 units left in there. There's still the red line. So all I have to do is watch my 2 hours post-meal. But there's actually insulin left in here. It's not empty. There's about 15 units sitting in that top part that the plunger can't push, so I'll probably have to use a syringe for the rest of the day. It's not a big deal, but that's what that's about. So anyways, maybe you'll get to see me use a syringe today dealing with this. Like I said, I don't really like this HumaPen for that reason, that it can't really tell you how much farther you have to go. You kind of have to judge based upon the red line and what numbers you see on the side. So I'll be partially happy to switch back to the regular disposable pens, but I'll be in the junior pens, so I'll still be able to have the benefit of dialing in half units, because every click, as you can see here, is a half a unit. So anyways, I'll get back to you guys later. I'm going to go dig out some clothes out of my closet. As you just saw, I brushed my teeth, but I wanted to show you that I am at 107 right now. That is very, very normal to be dropping from a pre-bolus kind of slowly. It doesn't like crash me or anything, but remember, Dexcom read me higher than what I actually was, so Dexcom is straightening itself out, first of all. And second of all, I think that the insulin is kind of working just a tad bit faster than the carbohydrates, but usually for this breakfast it works out pretty good. Like I said, it's not really a freak out because I was 112, and being that I was 112, to me it doesn't really make much of a difference. At 107 it basically hasn't changed. So like I said, pre-bolusing is a great way. This is very normal to see this, just that gentle downward trend at the very beginning, and then it'll kind of flatline out later, or you'll spike, but not as bad. Like I said, you could see how tight of a range I keep my blood sugars in, 70 to 140. This is pretty much non-diabetic levels. I could even tighten it even further if I wanted to, but I think I drive myself nuts. So for now, I'm going to keep it at that levels to try to drop my A1C from 5.8 to 5.5. Like I said, I'm doing what works for me, not necessarily what works for you. But like I said, I don't have any other medical conditions to worry about that could really make an impact on blood sugar levels with diabetes. I just have diabetes. So as long as I, A, get my dosing right, and B, get the timing right as far as matching insulin to carbohydrates, there's not an issue with what I can eat. I could have anything I want. But like I said, I think pre-bolusing is a great option, especially for anything that you want to make sure you don't spike on, or if you're eating heavier carb meals, or sometimes if you eat junk food, it works great too. So anyways, I'll talk more about pre-bolusing in another video, but now we're going to dig into my closet. So it's such a debate what to wear. This looks messier than it actually is, but I might have to go through and refold some of these, but I think I'm going to wear something kind of comfy today because it is kind of cold out. I'll probably just wear these black pants. And one of these t-shirts. I don't know what one. I'll decide. I'll pick a random one, I guess. I don't know. I'll just wear this kitty one. It's really cute. Like I said, a lot of my clothes are really big on me now just because I lost so much muscle mass. This is probably back when I was a little bit bigger. A little bit, not too much. But look at this cute little kitty in the little water fountain. Isn't this just cute? Okay, anyways, I'm going to stop talking like a baby, and I'm going to grab a pair of socks. Yes, I keep my socks all in this pile. That is all fuzzy socks. These socks need mates, and these are more fuzzy socks. And down here I have a little mouse, and he just sits there and he peeks around the corner. He's so cute. His name... I don't know his name. Oh, his name is Mike. Mike the Mouse. Okay. We'll put Mike the Mouse back where he belongs. Anyways, I will get dressed and I'll get back to you, I think, a little bit later. Maybe about 11 o'clock or so, when I would most likely have to take another shot if my blood sugar were to go above like 140. Like I said, I keep a extremely tight range on my blood sugars. I'm very picky, and you know what? I do what works for me. It doesn't really drive me nuts that much. It just becomes part of an everyday thing, and because I keep my blood sugars in such a tight range, I feel crappy when I get beyond 150 or 160 for too long. I'll start getting all those hyperglycemia symptoms. So you guys would be amazed if you do your absolute best to keep your blood sugars in a tight range, that you're going to feel crappier sooner and you're going to want to do something about it sooner. But like I said, some of you deal with tons of other things that affect your blood sugars, like medical conditions, or you have a very stressful job or a very stressful environment that you're in, and I'm very, very sorry to hear that. But like I said, do your best to manage with what you can, and we'll get back to you later as you stare at this cute little kitty. I am on my couch right now, hence the very animal-based pillow. I almost said pillow, but pillow fish and the raccoon. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys my blood sugar. It's almost 11 o'clock. Oh, goodness gracious. And we're at 86 and stable. Now, some of you would probably be thinking that's a little on the low side. Well, I've got a little different impression than that. Number one, 86, medically speaking, isn't low. Number two, I don't feel low. And number three, I'm not really doing any physical activity. Now, if I were to go outside and shovel snow right now, I would either A, bring a snack with me to make sure I don't go low, or B, I would eat something in anticipation of going low and maybe ride my blood sugars a little on the elevated side and rather it be on the higher end than the lower end, because I know what things do to me. I'm only 7 months into diabetes, and a lot of things could change for me. I could have something else go wrong and have really nasty, crazy blood sugars, or might have to readjust all kinds of things. But for now, this is what works. And like I said, 86 and coasting is great for a good A1C. I mean, 86 is a non-diabetic's blood sugar. And so far I found for me that I must really have my insulin to carb ratios nailed on the head, because if I didn't, I would be constantly riding high or constantly riding low. And my basal rate seems to be pretty good, seeing as though I'm not waking up really, really low in the morning, nor am I waking up super high. So right now I have everything nailed, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Like on my period, I have to adjust things before my period. I have to crank things down. Again, that is more for other videos. But seeing as though it's almost 2 hours post-meal, I wanted to show you that. Like I said, 86 and stable. I'm not really going to be doing much. I have my clothes on. But because I'm not going to be doing much, I'm not going to worry about this 86 blood sugar. It's nothing to be concerned about. I feel fine. And like I said, even non-diabetics can go into the 70s and 60s. I typically don't start feeling low till I get really urgently low, like in the 50s now. So like I said, if you keep your blood sugars as tight as possible, A, you're going to prevent complications, but B, you're also going to feel crappier when you get out of that tight range, so that you're going to be more willing to do something about it more frequently. And like I said, I don't really go low a lot, and I don't go like screaming high a lot, but I do what works for me. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Pre-bolusing isn't my only solution, because there are some meals I can't pre-bolus for, or I drop really low. And then there's a certain meals, like if I go out to fast food and have a huge, big meal that's more than like 70 carbs, it seems like no matter how much insulin I take and no matter how long I pre-bolus, I end up going 200. So, I do have diabetes. Even if you're not going to see really bad blood sugars a day, I still have it. And you may see bad blood sugars today. Who knows? Diabetes throws so many different things at you every single day. But I will update you guys if I do anything else different. Debating between cleaning my house or getting this desk that's sitting in my living room that I'm staring at right now out of here. But we'll see if I can get some help with that. But I will talk soon.
And in case you guys want to know what Sammer Ammerful Fammer does on a snow day, he sits and takes naps. He's going to be 15 in April. He's such an old man. Yeah. He's very arthritic, so like when we touch him, he's just like, you can tell he's just wants to sleep all day. Yeah. Oh, there you go. See? 91. I'm climbing back up from that 86 I just updated with you guys. So that's why I don't worry about it too much. If you have your insulin dosages nailed, you're not going to be riding high and you're not going to be riding low. I think that's the key. Key number one. Like I said, key number two is timing your insulin with your carbohydrates. Okay? If you're going to eat something heavy carb, or you might spike, pre-bolus. If not, take your injection and eat. It's all a matter of exploring with your body. What my body does is going to be way different than what your body does. So anyways, Sam says hello. Current blood sugar update, 127 with a slight arrow headed up. This is about an hour later. I'll be eating lunch probably another hour and a half. But
I get these random spikes with my period, but number two, diabetic, sometimes will just get random spikes, and I didn't have anything to eat. You can see I kind of just stayed at the like 80s or 90s level, and then I started climbing up to the 140s. Have not a clue why, but it is what it is. We're gonna deal with it. So anyways, that is the scoop. I won't correct or anything. I'll correct at lunch if it gets above like the 140, 150 mark. I'll take like an extra like half a unit or a unit with my meal. But I'm going to be having more leftovers for lunch and going to let my dog out for another bathroom break. So maybe I'll film some snow for you guys and I'll update you later. Holy man! This is awful. At least I get my dog to go to the bathroom. Holy man. Holy God. Hey, hi. We made it back in out from there. My nose is still cold. This winter weather's extreme. Like, don't get me wrong. From Wisconsin, we expect winter. But this should have came at Christmas. Like, Christmas time, we had hardly any snow, and now it's all getting dumped on at Valentine's Day. Makes no sense to me. And like I said, this is like the third or fourth snowstorm we had in like 2 weeks. And it's just nonstop. I'm not going to clean my house today because why would I clean my house and mop it when I might be dragging more junk into my house? So I'm going to wait till tomorrow to clean. So I'll be working on my room today. Maybe I'll show some of that. Maybe I won't. Depends on how bad it gets, but we'll just continue my day in the life here at home in a nasty snowstorm. If I can get the TV to turn on and show the whole entire state of Wisconsin is literally in a winter storm warning. So it's not just my area, it is like the whole entire state except for like the one little corner, southeast corner of the state near the Wisconsin-Illinois border. But this is nuts, you guys. We had 31 inches of snow way back in April of last year. It was a record-breaking snowstorm named Evelyn, and she was pretty much statewide too. But my particular area got like 30 or 31 inches. It was awful. Almost 3 feet of snow in one sitting, but we were getting dumped on 12 inches. The snowstorm before was like 7, and the snowstorm before that was like 10. So we pretty much made up for that in 3 snowstorms, so it's kind of like last year almost, except not getting it all at once. So anyways, if I could take some pictures of the snow, I will for you guys, but this is absolutely crazy. I am so ready for spring. Come on, Wisconsin, let's have a great spring. And honestly, we're probably gonna have a scorching summer, but for me, I'll deal with it. We're just gonna deal with it as it goes. It's part of the I guess the cons of living in Wisconsin, even though I don't consider it a con. I like that we have all 4 seasons, but sometimes our winter season can go longer than normal, so. Put the test strip in the meter. It is asking for a sample. So we're gonna give it just that. And we will see how close it is to Dexcom. I am 126. Dexcom says 122. Perfect. We're going to leave that alone. A little on the higher side to eat, but I won't complain. Like I said, I kind of had a random spike. I don't know why that happened. I said not the worst blood sugar to have ever. I just consider it slightly elevated before meals, considering most of the time I'm between 80 and 110 before I go to eat. So I would consider that slightly elevated. But again, I define things a little differently than maybe what you do, and that's okay. Just so long as you're keeping decent blood sugars. And I'm not going to complain. As long as I'm between 70 and 140, I would say 85 to 90% of the time, I know I'm not doing damage to my body. So anyways, I'm going to get myself prepped here to take a shot, and I will show you guys that. Okay, so not the best camera angle, but I'm going to open this. And if you remember from this morning, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon right now, guys. You can see it's kind of pushed to that red line. Well, I'm not going to take a risk knowing that I need about, let's see, I'm having about 53 carbs for lunch. I'm having 53 carbs for lunch, which for me is 4.5 units of insulin. I run a 1 unit per 12 at lunch. I'm a little more sensitive in the middle of the day, which is fine by me. But like I said, I will not take a risk that it's not going to give me the 4.5 units insulin that I need. So I'm going to withdraw this insulin out of the cartridge. You can do this for any insulin pen too. So for any insulin pen you can do this for. It's a good thing because, like I said, the plunger cannot push there's about 15 units of insulin that sits in the top that otherwise just gets discarded. Why not waste that? So I'm going to go through and pull that out and show you guys. See if I can show it to you as this phone stays up here. I'm kind of have the phone propped on like a candle. So don't mind like the messy background, but I'm going to see if I can do this appropriately here. So I have an alcohol swab. I'll show you guys later an injection in the arm, seeing as I did an arm injection for my breakfast and that was misrecorded. I'm going to prep my stomach quick and I'll inject my stomach for you guys today. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take my, it doesn't make a difference to me to use it. Just wipe it off. To me, it's not really as big of a deal to wipe this off, because if you're the only person using it, who gives a crap? That's how I feel. So then this is a syringe. I use the BD Veo 5mm 31 gauge, I believe. So it's basic, or 6mm. They're the same gauge as the pen needles I use, but the length of the needle is 1mm longer. Not a big deal. It is a U100 insulin syringe, and it also doses in half units, which is perfect because I'm going to need 4.5 units today. So I'm going to cover that back up for a second. But for any of you that don't really see syringes a lot, I've only used these a couple times. I use these in the hospital when I was first diagnosed, but I only use a few of these every 3 weeks. Just because I'm just using them to get the excess insulin out. Now, when you go to do it out of a pen, there's no need to do the air. But usually what I do, let's see if I can do this with one hand, is just pull back to make sure the plunger is going to work. And you can see the plunger is going to work fine on this pen. I always, or the syringe, so I'm checking to make sure that it's going to push down nicely. You can do air in there. You don't have to, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see if I can just pull it out. Without, I might have to not show you. Or maybe I can do it sideways. That might work. Okay, we're gonna do it sideways and see if it works. See, I can pull a lot of insulin out here. I usually just pull a whole bunch out. And you can see there's at least 19 units left in here. Mainly because, see, I pulled the plunger real close. So that's fine, but I'm going to push some of it back in, and it's going to push the plunger a little further back, but it's not a big deal because the insulin will still be in there. So I'm going to push, because you can see there's some air bubbles at the top. I just want to get some of these air bubbles out, and then I'm going to draw back again. This is usually what I do. That works for me. So I'm at 5 units right now. I need 4.5. So I'm going to be watching very closely here. So don't mind if my voice gets a little funny, but I want to just watch very, very closely that I don't overdo it, because I'll have to draw it up again. Okay. Just like that. We have it. So you can see there's 4.5 units. See the 5 line, but you can see where the plunger's just to a tick mark above that. All the thicker marks on the right hand side are whole units, and on the right hand side are half units. So it goes half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, and that's what I need. I just double, triple check that there's not a lot of air bubbles in here, and I'm not seeing much. I went through and redid it again. It looks like it's great. I don't see any more air bubbles in there. So this looks like it's fine. So for any of you that use syringes on a daily, I give you credit because they're putsy, more putsy than pens in my opinion. But what I like about a syringe is that you really don't have to worry about back leak because of the way they're designed. But I still hold them in for maybe a little bit longer than maybe necessary when I give myself an injection, which is totally fine. I'm going to do what I feel comfortable with. I don't mind using these every now and again, or like when I switch to a pump, I may or may not use syringes to withdraw insulin, but hopefully I can just keep buying pens and just refill my pump with a pen, and then I can use a pen in a backup situation. But I'm very thankful to be on pens, but as you can see, that is 4.5 units. We're going to give the injection now. So what you didn't see earlier was me prepping my stomach, but I'm going to go right in here. So anywhere I can pinch here, I'm gonna look and see if there's any spots that look like they've been used. And I'm gonna go more upper stomach, about an inch diagonally away from the navel. So then I'm gonna pinch. I'm gonna go in. There we go. And push down. Beautiful. Now I can release. And I'll take my hand off the plunger. And then I'm gonna kind of sit down here for a second. I leave it in there for a bit longer than probably necessary. Okay. And you can tell the insulin went in because I can feel it kind of burning. So that's good. Now, now that I have this used, I'm gonna put the cap on. And this, and then I just throw that in the sharp. So that's done. Now I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes again. Boom. And I will show you what I'm going to eat for lunch and prep that real quick. So what I'm having for lunch today is a half a cup of what they call Texas caviar. It's basically beans and corn and like vegetables like green peppers and onions. It also would taste good with like olives and maybe a little avocado and tomato mixed in here, but this is somebody else's made recipe. It's pretty good. It's about 10 carbs for a half a cup. And then I am having one of these fruit and chia Nourish Your Body Del Monte peaches and strawberry dragon fruit flavored chia kind of pudding like thing. There's 25 carbs in here. So you're looking at 35 carbs and then 18 for 18 chips. These are the old Dutch restaurant style chips that goes with the Texas caviar. So 18 chips, 18 carbs, a carb a chip. Like I said, I eat pretty much anything and everything I want. Like I said, I think the main thing with diabetes is not that you have to go on a restricted diet, especially as type 1s, because obviously, like I've said for the umpteenth time, we did not eat too many sweets to cause diabetes. It was not our fault. Our own body killed itself, basically, it attacked itself. But I think the main thing with us type 1s is knowing what foods do to you, but also nailing your doses and getting the timing correct, because if you don't get the timing correct, you're going to either have really high blood sugar at the end because the insulin's working slower than your carbs are on your body, or you're going to have really low blood sugar, meaning your insulin's going to work so much faster than the carbohydrates that are going to enter your bloodstream. So it's all about finding the timing that works best for you. This is my first time ever having this, so I'm going to be kind of experimenting today. This might drive me high. I might go low with this meal, even though this I know I'm not going to have much of an issue with. I've seen how it's reacted with my body, but this is the first time with this. I don't know how it's going to take on my body. I don't know how my body's going to handle it, but we're going to try it. And you don't know unless you try. I'm not scared to try things, and I might go high, I might go low, I might not have any problem. Like I said, there's about 53 carbs, so 4.5 units of insulin on a 1 to 12 carb ratio. I'll get this prepped, take a picture, and we'll be good to go. So again, this is what it looks like. As you can see, the chips kind of made it messy, but anyways, this is what it looks like. And I'm having some water to drink. Some days I eat heavier, some days I eat lighter. Today you're seeing more of me eating a lighter day. Oop, rogue test strip. I have to throw that out yet. Anyways, so today I'm eating a little more light. I might eat heavier towards dinner. I'm not sure yet. I just eat whatever the heck I feel like, you guys. I don't let my diabetes control me in any way, shape, or form. I eat fruit. I eat junk. I eat chips. I eat Texas caviar. I eat whatever I want, you guys. But I also wanted to pop on here too and not just take a picture but film this instead. Yesterday I had this Texas caviar, but I added some like sweet and spicy type tuna pack, and it was only like 4 carbs, but tuna is an excellent source of protein. I like adding it to things to make it filling, and this may not look like a filling meal, but this is probably going to fill me up for a while. And typically between lunch and dinner I might have a snack that's not super high carb that I might not have to dose for if my blood sugar's behaving okay. Or I might have something like meat and cheese where it's like, to me, it's so low carb it doesn't impact blood sugar, and I don't really get a protein spike from just small amounts of protein snacks like cheese and meat. But if I was going to eat heavier quantities, I might dose myself like a half a unit But for now, we're just gonna do with this, and I will get back to you guys 2 hours post meal, or when my blood sugar starts having problems. I have 11 minutes to wait yet, so in the meantime, I'm gonna clean up my mess that I made from making lunch, throw away my sharps, and make sure everything is in order. Talk to you later. My timer is about ready to go off for me to eat, but I always make a mental note in my head, when did I give myself an injection? I gave myself an injection at about 1:15, so if absolutely necessary and something goes wrong where I go really high or something like that, I can always take another shot at 3:15ish, 3:20ish. I give about 2 hours in between shots at minimum to allow for insulin active on board to not stacking insulin. That's something you don't want to do. So anyways, I'm going to enjoy my meal. I got my mirror up on my dresser. But anyways, I'm not going to show much more because my room looks like a royal mess. But my blood sugar, it's almost 2 hours post-meal, and we are at 142 and stable. The high alert did go off. Like I said, I am not going to worry about anything until about 3:20, 3:30. If it continues to go up, or I'm kind of sitting at this elevated state for a little while, then at that point I will take a correction. But right now 142 is not complaining. Ever since I do some strength stuff, when I tend to do more strength stuff involving moving furniture, I tend to notice a blood sugar spike first, and then I'll come down later. So I'm not too worried. Plus I had some fruit for lunch that I told you guys I wasn't sure how it was going to react, and because of that, you take a little bit of a risk. But anyways, so far so good with the fruit. Working out pretty good for what I am eating. And I will update you guys later. My blood sugar right now is 164 and stable, so I kind of had it up a little bit. I am not sure why, although I do have a few guesses. Number one, my period could be screwing things up. Number two, could have been the fruit I ate earlier. Also, the beans can kind of delay some of that. The protein could be delaying a blood sugar spike with that, or it could be some of the fat that was in that Texas caviar. It is an oil-based type dip, so that could have done it. And number three, who knows? I did get all the air bubbles out of the syringe, but I may have only gotten 3.5 or 4 units, and I really needed that 4.5. It's possible, but highly unlikely. I think it's more likely because of the food I chose, and that's okay. I'm at 164. It's not a bad blood sugar, but it's been 2 hours since I've ate my meal, and I'm going to correct with 1 unit. That'll drop me about 65 milligrams per deciliter. So I'll get back down to my target blood sugar of 100. So I forgot to mention that earlier, that my target blood sugar is 100. So again, everybody's targets are going to be different. And like I said, I'm on shots right now. This would be much more convenient if I had a pump. That's why I'm looking at getting into one, because sometimes it's inconvenient to stick yourself many times, but seeing as though I'm not going to do a lot of activity, I'm going to fix this before it gets really out of hand. And like I said, this is how you keep your A1Cs good, is correcting slightly elevated blood sugars before they get way too high and way too dangerous and they're causing tons of damage. So anyways, I'm going to take the shot, and I'll update you guys when the blood sugar starts coming down. Just like that, correction is done. 1 unit. You're doing awesome. Last time I updated you guys, it was 137, and now I've come down to 111. It's about an hour, 20-ish minutes since I last did my injection, so I'm doing pretty gosh darn good. I'll give myself a lot of credit for that. Perfect timing, perfect injection, everything's doing good. I'm not dropping anymore, so we're just gonna keep going here. I plan on eating dinner between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, so time is it now? About another hour to another hour and a half, I'll have a full meal. Again, if I need to snack in between, I might have like some meat and cheese or some pork rinds or something, but I'll share that with you guys if I decide that. It's stuff that won't really affect my blood sugar, but stuff to keep things stable. This is why y'all need to be careful with active insulin on board. 93 with a slight arrow headed down. I did some more like activity moving crap around in my room, and I'm not going to eat for a while, so I might just have a Valentine candy. They're only like 5 carbs a piece, and they work pretty good on blood sugar just to stabilize it. And I'm starting to get kind of hungry, so I think I might be dropping a little fast, but like I said, that's okay. This correction would have worked more if I didn't do anything, but like I said, when you're on shots, you can't just hit a button and have the insulin stop. Once you inject yourself, you're stuck. So that's another reason why I'm looking into a pump eventually. But anyways, I'm gonna go eat a Valentine candy. Yay, go me. Well, I'm eating 2 taffies, and don't mind the background of the TV. I spilled them all. So now we've got them in containers like this, like a dum-dum. I opened the bag and it just flew everywhere. Now I gotta go search under my fridge and make sure nothing's gonna melt under my fridge. So, anyways, we're still heading down. Time to enjoy some Valentine's candy. And if y'all didn't notice that I had my watch set pink for Valentine's Day, might as well be themed for that. So this is my current situation after treating a low that probably was going to happen. You can tell I got down to probably in the low 70s. I had about 10 or so carbs, 10 or 12, so I didn't even do a full treatment, and this is what I've gotten. Kind of more than I wanted, but that's diabetes. Some days, no matter how controlled I am, I get these crazy roller coasters. And no offense to menstrual periods, but I think they have everything to do with these roller coasters, because when I get towards the end of my period, I tend to notice I kind of roller coaster a little bit, and then as soon as it's over, like, my body goes back to being normal, which is kind of weird. Like, I'm able to adjust myself during, and then, like, that last couple of days transitioning out really sucks. Transitioning in isn't that bad, but, like, transitioning out every month kind of sucks, and I either seem to end up, like, going roller coastery, or I just can't seem to find a happy balance. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a roller coaster. Like I said, in the fact that I'm on shots, I think I'm doing pretty damn well. Shots are hard to do, you guys. For those of you who are non-diabetic and have just scrolled across this, or are fairly newly diagnosed like myself, I'll be going on a year in July. But anyways, you know that shots can be a pain in the rear, and I think a pump would do justice in this situation. I think a pump mirrors blood sugar, or mirrors the non-diabetic's pancreas better. So hopefully I'll get on one of those soon. Like I said, I'm doing what I can with the tools I have. It's not like I mind shots. I just think pump has a few more convenient things with it. And I'll talk more in future videos about that. But anyways, I'm getting rolling around to eat here. And depending on how bad my blood sugar rose, may have to correct for it. But that's okay. It's worth it. It's Valentine's Day. I'll correct for a little bit of candy. But for dinner, I'm planning on having chicken, broccoli, a small batch of potatoes, and some ice cream tonight. Yes, I'm having some, interestingly, what you would think are really bad blood sugar spiking foods, but I've learned how to bolus appropriately for all those. So anyways, I just mentioned what I was going to have for dinner, but I will put my Dexcom, trends for the past 24 hours up on here at the very end of this video, so you'll get to see kind of what went on for the 24 hours. Like I said, it's not the worst day, but not the best. Normally, I'm much more stable than this. But like I said, things happen, and you just deal with it. Here we go on the third blood sugar check for the day.
What's wrong with this ice maker? It's not making because jammed up in there.
Looks like 96, so
She's broke, she's broke.
I'm at 96, so that's perfect. My correction worked, and even all the candy I ate leveled me out. So I'm doing 5.5 units of insulin tonight. Okay, so I already prepped my syringe for the day. I do 1 unit per 10 in the evening or at dinner time, so I'm having 54 grams of carbohydrate. I will show you my plate after, which equates to 5.5 units of insulin. No correction needed because my blood sugar is 96, and according to Dexcom, I'm 109. I'm going to leave Dexcom alone again, just because of all the transitioning I've been dealing with. But forgot to show you what it looks like to do a shot in the arm, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I prep with alcohol. A lot of you probably are wondering, how in the heck can she do a shot in the arm by herself? But maybe some of you don't know this, but it is feasible. It's very, very easy to do. Like I said, I already have this prepped, and this is ready to go. I'll verify that it is 5.5 units. So all I do is I go on a chair and I push down until I get the fat of my arm kind of splayed out, and then from there I can pick a location along the arm and insert the needle. Like I said, the syringe needles are a little more stiff in my opinion, but they work. There, I just gave myself an injection of 5.5 units. I always hold it in there a little longer than I probably need to. It's just a habit. Although with syringes, you're less likely to have back leak than you are from insulin pens. I'm going to release my finger off the syringe now, and I'm just going to hold it in here for an additional 5 to 10 seconds. Like I said, I'll show you what I'm having for dinner tonight. Is broccoli and cheese, some chicken, some ice cream, as you can probably hear the microwave in the background. And I'm going to have some jalapeno flavored, ranch flavored chips instead of actually regular potatoes tonight. Just because I feel like I don't want to drive my blood sugar crazy high with potatoes plus ice cream, because I really want some mint chocolate chip ice cream. So anyways, this injection is complete. As you can see, I'm removing the needle. We are good to go. And as usual, we're going to set a timer for 20 minutes. And I'll get back to you when I'm ready to eat. Just finished dinner. Not much going on in this household, but I am 73 and cruising. Anytime I pre-bolus, there's a natural drop, and then it'll start going back up. There are certain meals I have found where I cannot pre-bolus, or I will drive myself to the 50s, and I'm stuck eating a bunch of candy, and then I'll skyrocket, because the insulin I took was for the food, not for that candy, and then it's an issue. But anyways, I am flatlined at 73. Not bad, considering what I'm going to be eating, but we'll be waiting for a blood sugar raise soon. But anyways, I'm going to be playing Sorry with my lovely mother. There's Sorry for you guys. And it's the Disney edition, and it is such an old game. I've had it since I've been like 7, so we're going to do that, and then maybe we'll play some Battleship. But anyways, we're going to have a pretty chillax night, and I'll update you guys later. Alright, lovely people, guess what? I'm convinced my own mother, who is a non-diabetic, to check her blood sugar. I'm going to use a Gentile I cleaned out and put a new fresh Nielsen in. We've got the test strip ready to go. We'll check your blood sugar and get back to you. My mother had a whole entire turnover. Plus, she had potatoes with her meal, and she's 118.
And a whole soda. and a regular
and
soda.
a whole entire regular soda, if you can hear her in the background. So, you know what? Her pancreas works great. And it's been like an hour. So, kudos, Mom. Great job.
Thank you.
I'm going to eat some more taffies because I'm starting to get shaky. Stupid insulin is working faster than this meal today. So we're done playing Scrabble, done playing Sorry. She won a game, I won a game. Now we're going to play Scrabble. Like I said before, I had a little bit of the shakes, and my blood sugar is kind of in the 70s. Note to self, this particular meal do not pre-bolus for. I'm making a mental note. Like I said, I never had this combination of meals before, so I had no clue what to expect. And now I know this particular meal is not recommended to pre-bolus, even with dessert attached. And even all the physical activity I did today is probably caught up to me. So I ate some taffies. I'm going to have some pork rinds or some summer sausage as protein to kind of just keep it up without driving my blood sugar really high. And I incorrectly said Scrabble. We're going to play Uno, and we're going to have fun with that. And yeah, her blood sugar, like I said, was 118 after eating a pile of potatoes, some regular soda, and and a turnover. I'm jealous. She does not have insulin resistance, nor does she have type 1 diabetes. My mom is in great shape, y'all. Her pancreas is in great shape. She is a non-diabetic for sure. 118, if I were to have 118 after that, oh my God. That would be a miracle. I would probably have to take 11 units of insulin to obtain that, though. So, you know what? I took my 5.5, and apparently it's still too much for this meal. So, you know what? I got to have more candy. So me. So, I guess my blood sugar is more normal than anything, but hers is between 80 and 120. So, she's great. I'd like to see what she'd be at a little later, but maybe she won't let me poke her again. But anyways, random 118 poke is great for her. I never actually went low, you guys. I won 4 games out of 6 games of Uno. Never actually hit the low bar, but I was feeling low, so that's why I took my 3 taffies, and again, I'm going to run with it. And I also ate a bunch of pork rinds and pickles, which aren't really going to account for anything because they don't really affect my blood sugar. Alright, lovely people. My blood sugar is 123 and stable. It is about 9 o'clock. We got done playing some card games. She won some, I lost some, I won some. She lost some. Anyways, I'm going to go hop in the shower. And this just reminded me that tomorrow I have to restart my Dexcom G6 sensor. And I also hopefully will be filming that, and that'll go up in a couple weeks. I'm thinking of putting up this day in the life in the middle of the week as a bonus video for you guys. So hopefully that'll go up soon. But I'm going to get a shower and get my pajamas on. And figure out something to do for the rest of the night. And I will get back to you guys probably when I take my basal insulin. And at that point I'll end the video for the day. As you can tell, I took my basal insulin for the night. I take it at about 10 p.m. And seeing as though I am transitioning out of my period, I am back down to 9 units of insulin. May explain some of the roller coaster blood sugars I had today, but obviously that particular meal I can't pre-bolus for, and that's okay. I'll make a mental note. Although I may have overestimated carbs, it's possible. But with the ice cream, that was at least 30, at least according to the label and stuff. But you never know. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and that's totally okay. But I'm still figuring out why I bled from that basal every now and again, only with my basal. Every now and again I'll get a injection site like that where it's definitely not like I've hit any area that I've injected into recently, but it'll get where almost like it'll like sting really bad and it'll leave like a little tiny lump. And like right now it's definitely red and it's kind of left a little lump. I don't know what's going on. But that lump will go away in a few days. I've had it happen a few times. But anyways, I had a good night. I have to dig myself out of snow tomorrow, clean my house tomorrow, and work more on my bedroom tomorrow, and work on some more YouTube stuff. Like I said, I hope this will be a bonus video going up sometime this week. Like I said, it's 2 days from Valentine's, so if I don't, obviously get this up early enough, I wish all you a happy Valentine's Day. Eat lots of candy. I definitely will be eating lots of chocolate and stuff. And anyways, like I said, I took my basal. I'm not going to do much for the rest of the night. It's almost 10:30. I go to bed between 10:30 and 11:30. I take my basal at 10. So I took, like I said, I took my 9 units, and I want to thank you for joining me today on today's video for a day in the life of a type 1 diabetic. Not a whole heck of a lot, seeing as though I was home, but like I said, diabetes doesn't really control me no matter what I do for the day. I just kind of go with the flow. Not a very bad day. I've had worse days. I think the highest I went to today was like 167, and the lowest I went was like 78. So I didn't do really bad. I never actually hit the low bar, and the high bar really wasn't that high for long, and it wasn't a really bad high. So I was able to fix everything in progression and keep going forward, and tomorrow's another day. And tomorrow will be an amazing day, just like any other day. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to have you guys. And like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We're closing in on 100 subscribers, and I will be doing the long-awaited diagnosis story. So you all get to find out how I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And like I said, if you're just joining, welcome to my channel. I've been living with type 1 diabetes for almost 7 months, and today's video is probably a long-rated video that you guys got to see today. A day in the life with multiple daily injections and a CGM, along with some finger sticks. The next day in the life I probably will do will maybe be more for school, or when I get a pump or something else technologically changes with the management of my diabetes. I will show you guys that. But this is basically what I've been doing for the most part since November when I got my Dexcom. The only thing I didn't do, obviously, is I didn't have a Dexcom to watch out for. Like I said, I'm going to insert my 24-hour Dexcom graph for you guys to see, and I will see you next time for another video. Until then, take care, God bless, be kind, spread positivity, and be thankful. Good night, everyone.